What's up guys, welcome back to another Ultimate Ironman video. I want to apologize for being away for a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. This Friday would be 2 weeks, but it is Tuesday today and I wanted to bring you guys a video today. So this is going to be on day 85, 6, 7, and 8. In those 4 days, all I really did guys was just did Barrows runs, and I went back to Zeah to start working on one of the houses. I also get 101 combat training at Stronghold of Security. Day 85 was just spent training my combat level. Day 86 and 87 was just spent at the Barrows minigame. I managed to make over 20 trips to the Barrows minigame. I think my cash stack went from like 50k or something like that right up to almost 300k. So I made a lot of money here through runes, and I also get 2 Barrows items. I won't tell you guys which ones, but you guys will see. And the way I make my trip back to Barrows is through the fairy rings. I used to use the ectofile, teleport to ectofunness, and just walk from there. That's what I used to do, but I started using the fairy rings because I find it quicker this way. I teleport to Ardoin, recharge my prayer at the altar there, and then make my way to the Legends Guild and just use the fairy ring just outside the guild. And then you know, teleport to the Mort swamp or whatever, and then make my way south from there, and then catch the boat, and yeah. Anyways guys, I wanted to tell you guys why I've been gone for a week and a half. Pretty much the reason why I've been gone, I've been hanging out with a friend of mine. I knew her since high school, and we just started talking again. You know, it's really nice that we're talking because in a way I've sort of missed her, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm not afraid at all to admit that. Alright guys, let's get back to this gameplay. So you guys know now how I make my way back to Barrows. I think there's supposed to be a new teleportation, a new way to get to the Barrows minigame faster. And I think you need to unlock it though through the new spellbook that's in Zeah. You know, the spellbook, necromancy spellbook, I think that's what you need to unlock in order to use that teleportation. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments section below. Here's my first Barrows item that I've got. The Aram hood, which I just high out for like 10k, 11k I think it was. And this is the next Barrows item I get. I'm not going to try spoil it for you guys, not yet. There it is. I got a Torix plate body. You guys remember when I got a Torix plate leg? I don't know what the heck happened to that. I think what happened was I suicided and the thing was in my inventory for too long and it just disappeared. I think that's what happened. But with this Torix plate body, I can now play the minigame efficiently and tank out most of the brothers. The only brothers I can't quite tank out is the Aram's brother, and you know, obviously I can't tank out the Dorak's brother either because he would one hit me if his hit points are low. So those are really the only 2 brothers I will use prayer potions against. The other brothers I just tank it out. You know, I have that Torix plate body going, and I have some pretty decent food. I always get my food at the Warriors Guild, cheese potatoes or pizzas. Anyways, so most of my money was made through the runes that I've got. I don't know how many chaos runes I collected. This isn't all of them, but as you can see in my inventory, I do make over or close to 300k. And I think when I first started off Barrows, like going to Barrows, I think my cash stack was only like 40, 50k. Alright, now on to Zeah again. This time I'm actually going to be working on one of the houses and get into one of my goals. So you guys know that one of my goals that I had in mind was working on the Hosidius house and get into that cooking minigame. And that's exactly what I do in this video for you guys. To get 5% though favor in Hosidius took about 15 minutes. You know, I was pushing that plow and I got my 5%. I mean, it's really the only way you can get your 5%. And it only took 15 minutes though. But to get to 45% from 5%, that took 2.5 hours to do. And yeah, that was brutal. Since I was only an Ultimate Ironman, I couldn't quite bank my compost bins in my, or compost buckets in my bank because I can't use the bank. So what I did was I went to Catherby and I bought compost buckets there, and I ended up banking them using this leprechaun. If you guys are wondering how many compost buckets I needed to get to 45%, I made 3 trips to Catherby, so that would equal 765 compost buckets, but I didn't use all of them. I still have like maybe 40-50 of them at the leprechaun. This is the minigame that I was talking about in my last video, the cooking minigame. It's supposed to be fast paced, and it is. Like, I think the cooking XP is just as good as wines. Maybe even better because I haven't really spent too much time here. I spent maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes here, only because I wanted to get the hang of the minigame and see what I need to do to get cooking XP. So what you need to do is cook what the soldiers appreciate. So to find out what they appreciate more out of meat pies, pineapple pizzas, and stews, you have to look at the top left corner. Hover your mouse over the meter and see what the percent's at. So stews right now is what I'm making because soldiers appreciate that more than meat pies. If you're wondering why I'm not making pineapple pizzas, it's because I don't have the cooking level for it. I need 65 cooking to make that. Alright guys, so you guys know how to play the minigame now. I know how to play it. Now the goal is for next week is to get 65 or 67 cooking and then get Recipe for Disaster completed finally. That's my goal for the next week. I'm probably going to be spending my time here, to be honest, so if you want to come say hi to me, I'm going to be in World 320. That's one of my favorite worlds, so if you want to come say hi, you know, feel free to. And what else do I need to say here? Oh, and if I'm not there, I'm not logged in, okay. But yeah, I'm pretty much going to be spending my time here. And if you do happen to find me, there's a good chance you're going to be on my next video. I'm going to be doing something special for my next video. But yeah, you guys have a good weekend, or a good week, and a good weekend, because I probably won't see you guys. Alright guys, take care, as always. Talk to you later, and bye.